This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
What's up, YouTube? Raheem the Rabbit. Welcome back. Welcome back to another glorious episode of Rabbit Hole Discussions. Hello. If you guys are not members of my YouTube channel, do me a favor, smash that like button. Also hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you can get alerted when I upload new content. If you guys can't tell, we got a special guest in the building. Hello, Mrs. Anita Stoudmire. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh yes, no, please. My pleasure. Before I do that, I would like to give you the rabbit hole introduction. First of all, my next guest is an established author of the Choose Well book, a simple formula to determine the best man for you and also do well. A feminine woman's guide to relationships and success. She teaches an online femininity course on etiquette and mastering your feminine power. She's also a personal life coach and licensed professional counselor. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to give a warm rabbit hole discussions welcome to Miss Anita P. Stoudmire.
Thank you. You're too kind.
Yeah. So before we even jump in, we're gonna have a kinfolk conversation. How was your week?
It's been busy. I have a private practice, so I see anywhere between 20 and 30 clients a week. And then when I'm not doing that, I am creating content, editing that content, coming up with new things, new ideas, the new things that are going to be starting in the new year. And then I'm finishing a book this month that hopefully will be out by the 1st. So it has been really busy, especially this month of December.
Okay. Yeah, they say winter is coming. Winter is coming. And also, just a quick question. How did you get into this line of work that I think, in my loose opinion, it's taboo in the Black community? How did you get into this self-healing and coaching and stuff for women?
Well, about 6 years ago, I have been working with some of the biggest names in the business when it comes to discussions on polarity. And so I've been doing my own research on masculine energy, feminine energy, polarity. That's what this work is actually called. I had also been studying evolutionary psychology. I had just been doing a lot of study, a lot of spiritual study. And so once I was taught by some of the great minds, and I had read their books and had actually had the pleasure of talking to them over the phone and through Zoom and interviewing them, I was like, wow, it changed my life. So I felt like, you know what? It could probably change other people's lives, especially in our community. I felt like our community needed this more than ever. And so 6 years ago, I started my channel. And back then, I predominantly made content for women. Like 90% of the people who followed me were women. And I talked to women about femininity. I talked to them about polarity. I talked to them about how to choose a good man, how to have the life that they want. I've always been anti feminist. So I was talking about that even then, but have gotten even more so. Um, but just started talking to women. But I had a couple of pieces of content go viral, and that's how men discovered me. So men came over to my platform, they discovered me. I guess they liked my style in the sense of it is very no nonsense, very direct, very logical and rational. And so now I have like a 60-40 split. So I actually have more men that listen to my content than women.
Do you find it, I guess, a breath of fresh air, or kind of startling that you have more of a influence on the male diaspora versus the female diaspora?
It is still my goal to speak to women. Sometimes I actually get frustrated. I get frustrated by the men on my platform because really the goal is for the women, for us to clean up our side of the fence. I think that something magical will happen when we do that. Once the women really get clear and we clean up our side of the fence. But like I said, men listen to the content, they respond and comment and they reach out. And then I coach some men and I counsel some men. So, I want them to get their side of the fence cleaned up, because in my opinion, everybody's side of the fence needs cleaning up. And I say that all the time. I am an equal opportunity offender, and I see things going on with men. I see things going on with women. But I wanted to focus more on women because I feel like we're having the worst experience, in the sense that like we're our own worst enemy. And it saddens me because it's like your experience could be so much better if you just clean up your side of the fence. But I think our experience is going to be worse. So when, the good old saying, winter is coming or winter is here, right? I think that's what is going to happen.
Yeah, I think just segueing out of the conversation for a second, in my 48 years on this earth, you can attest to this. I think that the way the world was in the early 80s and early 90s is like night and day compared to this new millennium on how people interact with each other, the family dynamic. And I'll put the ace of spades on the table for us Black folks. The way that we interacted with each other in the late 80s and early 90s versus now, it's almost like it went from Good Times to Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yep.
I was like, holy smokes, Batman, what is going on here? And again, it like you said, it saddens me that we arrived at this junction now. It's like, okay, well, what do you want to do? Are we going to sink or are we going to swim as Black folks? Like, what are we doing here? And for the audience, we are streaming live on Miss Stoudmire's page and myself, and we're also live on Facebook. And I also left all of the links, the Amazon links and the links to your page, betterlovemovement.com, in the description. So make sure, if you guys are looking for something to thumb through this winter, go on Amazon and click the links in the description and support. And I will buy one of your books because, again, we got to support each other, right?
That's right. Yeah. Thank you.
And if I may, the audience don't know that whenever I do these one-on-one interviews, I typically have an offline conversation first, to let the person know that this is authentic. This is a real connection, like something that I saw, something that you posted, and I was like, oh, wow, let me reach out to that person and let's have a dialogue before we actually go full stream and do the interview. And I must say, let me give you your flowers while you can still smell it.
Yeah.
Your essence, in my loose opinion, your essence is very graceful. It's a breath of fresh air, and you remind me of the likes of the beautiful Felicia Rashad.
Thank you. That is quite the compliment.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's from the heart, because
yeah,
again, I say this. I think femininity is something that's a lost art
yeah.
in today's society, especially again, my ace of spades is on the table for the whole interview.
Mm,
Our women, I don't know what happened.
yeah, we've
I
lost the
don't know. I
plot.
mean, we're gonna dig deep, but I don't know what happened. The
Hmm.
way that the women conduct themselves today, it's not like my grandmother's generation. God rest their souls, both of them, and even my mom and my pops. Like, shout out to
Yeah.
Mama and Papa Bear. They've been married 41 years and still going.
Wow.
So
Mm,
I believe in black love. Black love is a beautiful thing. And again, I don't know what happened. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know what happened. So with that being said, you said that you were married.
Hmm.
You
Yep,
were
I have
okay.
been married,
Okay.
and I have three children. They're all grown now.
Okay.
I was a stay-at-home wife and mother for 12 years.
Mm,
So my story is one of, I've experienced marriage, and unfortunately, and I can be as specific or non-specific as you would like, but unfortunately, that marriage became very abusive.
oh, I'm
And
sorry to hear that.
I did everything in my power to stay in
Mhm.
that marriage, as I encourage couples to do. You have to do everything in your power. I was told I had to earn my way out of that marriage, and so I did everything in my power to turn that marriage around. We talked with my pastor and his wife. We talked with two marriage counselors. Um, I just did everything in my power to turn that marriage around. However, as I tell a lot of people, even in counseling, it takes two people to save a marriage. It only takes one person to break a marriage. And
Mm.
so I couldn't fix it by myself. And for the sake of, my health and sanity, for the sake of my children's sanity, I had to leave that marriage.
Mm. Okay. That is totally understandable, and it's
Yeah.
it's it's unfortunate, and I'll say this. I make an example. I tend to put this example out on the table all of the time, because these are the extremes that we hear too often.
Yeah.
Abuse, infidelity, etc., etc. Right?
Right.
What I want to do is I want to push infidelity and abuse off the table, because I'm coming at it from a different angle.
Hmm.
Um, if you remember, back in 1983, President Reagan passed that irreconcilable differences law,
Hmm. Yep.
and from, again, my loose opinion, from what I've seen from 1983 all the way to now 2025, there has been a financial incentive. It doesn't matter if it's down here with us regular folks, the blue and white collar, or the entertainment sector, which seems to be a beacon of light that everybody pays attention to. It seems like there's a financial incentive to just throw away the marriage under the
Yeah.
premise of irreconcilable differences. What's your take on that from a professional stance or personal stance?
So and people know that I don't believe in no fault divorce. And
Mm,
I have actually created a list of fault reasons for divorce. And I have
please
a fault.
share.
I
Please
have a
share.
fault divorce. So people know how I feel about that. They know that, in my humble opinion, there has to be a reason, there has to be someone at fault for the divorce. And a lot of people have asked me, if I were in charge of the world, would I do away with no fault divorce, or would I keep no fault divorce? But I would specify, like, okay, if you get a no fault divorce, you automatically, like, these automatic things apply. So there would
Mhm.
be automatic 50-50 custody of your children. And unless there was a prenup in place, you would split whatever marital assets you had 50-50. So that's what's going to happen if you get a no fault divorce. But in my humble opinion, these are the reasons for you to end your marriage. The first one is sexual withdrawal. We also call that conjugal dissolution. And so the men will relate to this. So if a man is in a sexless marriage, in my humble opinion, that is a reason to dissolve the marriage. If he's done everything in his power to try to get his sexual needs met within his marriage and he cannot do that.
Well, we got a little bit of
inadequate economic provision. Okay. So inadequate economic provision. This one is if one or both parties refuse to be gainfully employed to support the household. So in my opinion, that is a reason for divorce. And again, you've tried everything that you can under the sun, and this person will not contribute to the household financially. The next one is infidelity or adultery. We know that one well. The next one is infertility. I believe that if a person enters into a marriage in goodwill and their intention is to further their legacy or their lineage, and it is discovered that the other person is not able to do that, that they can be given a divorce. So they're not going to stay in a marriage with someone who's incapable of procreating. Okay, so infertility would be a reason. Domestic violence, that would be a reason. Rape, child sexual abuse, and abandonment. Okay, so people who have worked with me, they know what my stance is on that. There has to be a reason. You don't get to just wake up tomorrow and say, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore, and I'm just going to blow the whole thing up, and I'm going to take, your assets with me. No, you don't get to do that. You have to have a reason, and you are in essence saying, okay, what the divorce is going to get you is your freedom. That's it. That's it. That's all you're going to get. So you want it to be free, we're going to grant you your freedom.
What I've noticed is we actually did a show a couple of weeks back. I did a panel show on, are you aware of the new law that's in place now? It's only in it was in 2 states. I think it's now in 7. It's called SB 65.
I'm not.
It was SB SB 2874, but now it's shortened down to SB 65. 50-50 no fault custody and no child support.
All right.
It's passed. I know of. It's passed in Kentucky, and it's passed in Texas. That is the law now.
Okay,
and
I love it.
Yeah, it kind of leans me into this question, and I'll ask you because you're a mother. What do you think of the women that this is applicable to? The romantic portion of the relationship has exhausted itself. There was no abuse. There was no infidelity. They weren't even married. They just had a baby, right?
Yeah.
Because baby mama culture is rampant.
Yeah.
But the young lady in question brought this man to the court for child support, and she's using the child as a pawn to financially, in my loose opinion, rob this man, and then withholds parentalship. Like the baby is at my grandma's house, and this guy done drove about an hour and a half to visit, spend some time with his child. And now she's playing games using the court system, child support, and then demonizing now and kind of alienating the father. What do you think about that for the women that it's applicable to?
I believe that law is put in place, and again, if the father wants 50-50 custody and there's no reason why he shouldn't have it, then I think it does apply, right? So if he says to the court, I want to have my child half the time, and then I want, she'll have the child half the time, then it does apply. And so I'm not sure how she would use the child or how she would convince the court that wouldn't be in essence, what's best for the child. The child should have access to both of their parents. So as long as he wants 50% custody, now understand this, there are people who don't. They don't want 50% custody. So in that case, yes, child support does apply because the child has needs. The child has financial needs. But if a dad stepped up and said, you know what, I'll take care of the child half the time, and she'll take care of the child half the time. Okay, I don't see a problem with that. I don't see why the court wouldn't agree to something like that.
You know, it's funny. Like I said, you are the essence of femininity, so you're seeing the picture in its full entirety, and you have no malicious agenda.
Right.
Unfortunately, I'll keep the names out of this, but there are some named celebrities, people in the public that are using and we can clearly see this from the outside looking in. They're using the child as a pawn, and from what I've been seeing, the man is usually in a better financial situation, nine times out of 10, and the woman is jealous of this man's, I guess, accomplishments and where he is in life, and they feel, keyword feel, they feel like because he is so established, you know, he got it out the mud, grassroots, she feels that because they share DNA, she is now entitled to half of this man's enterprise, and she did not help him build one brick. What do you think about that? What do you think about that?
Were they married? Are they married, or you're saying they just had a child together?
Let's slice it down the middle. Baby mama culture, and then divorce, freshly divorced.
Well, the baby mama culture, again, if you're unmarried, if you're not, actively doing anything to put toward that person's success, then I would say, of course not. Of course, they don't deserve either half of whatever that person is making or any of it. If you're married, it is going to depend on the agreement and arrangement that you and your spouse came to. So what's the agreement or arrangement? I had an agreement that, my husband I met him in medical school. So he would go through the process of medical school, residency, fellowship. He then worked at a hospital. He then opened a practice. He then opened 50 more practices. So the understanding was that I was going to be a supportive person in his life. And we had a lot of dreams. We had a lot of goals. There were a lot of things that we did together. But for the most part, we had different roles. So in my mind, those roles are equitable. They're not equal, they're equitable. And so it just depends on the arrangement or agreement between the husband and the wife. I think a lot of modern day people, they don't believe that the wife plays a part in her husband's success. And I can assure you that's not true. That a good woman, a really good, smart woman, she plays a huge part in her husband's success. So she may not be leaving the house every day and working, but she is strategizing. She is the support person. She can be the idea person. She does a lot of things. So again, it depends on the understanding that they have. Okay, I think it's interesting that, when I talk to people about what my journey was like, they're like, oh, okay, well, these women today aren't doing that. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I don't understand it. You have women today that not only don't want to work outside of the home, they don't want to clean their own home. They don't want to cook. They don't want to take care of their children. So that wasn't me. I can't relate to that. That wasn't my story. I was very much involved in every decision that we made. I was very much involved in everything that we did. So I can't relate to that. So yeah, it depends on what the couple, has talked about. It kind of depends on what their agreement is and where the wife is and the husband, whether it's building his business or his career. It just depends.
I think this is just a funny little thing that I hear. people confuse the word job and career and think it's synonymous. They think it has the same meaning. And it's like, well, if everybody that has a career has some form of advanced schooling or degrees or technical school or something like that.
Yep.
Having a job is working at the pizzeria.
Right.
No shot. Shout out to Al's Pizzeria on Staten Island.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brothers Pizza on Staten Island, on my Staten Island. But yeah, I find that very funny, and this is just my loose opinion of observing panel shows on Instagram and YouTube, Facebook and stuff. I hear, and it's not, I must be honest when I say this too, it's not coming from the men's side. It's particularly coming from the women's side, and I'll yield the floor to you. Why? Because you have advanced degrees and you have a career, clearly. Why do you think some women, I'll take the ace of spades off the table, this is a quality statement. Why do you think some women grandize what they really are to make themselves look more important when it's like, well, you just have a job? Right. Why do you think they do that?
But understand this. Technically, and you probably heard this before, a woman's value is on the front end, right? A woman's value is, she's born with it. She's born with her value, and a man earns his value.
Oh, please say that again for the listeners. Please say that again.
So women who understand that, or they've heard that from their mothers, their grandmothers, or they just understand that. That is, in fact, the difference. Now, what I want to see women today do, I want them to recognize that, right? I have the ability to do something that a man can't do. However, that's not the only thing I can do. So that's what I'm encouraging women to embrace. That yes, there is something that you can do that a man can't do. That gives you some inherent born value. However, I want to know what else you can do. So outside of that, what other value do you bring? Okay. So
do you think that some again, my ace of spades off the table, this is for all the women in the West. Do you think that some women overvalue themselves and they have like this sense of entitlement and almost on the tippy-toeing on the line of arrogance?
Yeah, that's what we're seeing today. So what today's woman is desperately in need of is humility. She is in desperate need of humility. And so that's why winter is coming because today's woman refuses to be humble. She refuses to sit down and actually value herself in a way that makes sense. So, right? It's everyone thinking they're a 10. Like, no, not everyone is a 10. Not everyone deserves a millionaire husband. Yeah.
Can you say that again for the kids in the back of the classroom? Everybody's not a what?
Not a 10.
Oh shit.
And remember, most of us are 3s or 4s. We got a couple of 5s, yeah, but that's a hard sell. That's a hard sell because today, women, especially because of the advent of social media, think about that. They have a platform that they can post pictures to or they can make videos on, and all of these strangers are going to give them this validation, and it's making them think that they're better than they are. So,
better than sliced bread.
Yeah, so that's the bad news. When we were relegated, so think about, I graduated in 1986. And so I think about my high school, that when men, and I've had many men from high school, even to this day, say this. They're like, Anita, you were in the top 30%, right? Of our high school, I was in the top 30% of girls in high school. And that was just in my high school. But imagine if we had social media. So I would have been in the bottom 10% compared to girls in New York, girls in California, girls in Miami, girls in Houston. So it's like, yeah, in a small pond, I'm in the top 30%, but in a big ocean, see, that's the difference. But what I find so interesting is I think women wouldn't even made the top 30% in their high school, but yet in this big ocean, they think they're in the top 10%. So that, like I said, it's wild to me that they believe it. I'm in the top 10% of women. I'm like, no. Like, no.
I'm a come back to that. I'm gonna remember that. I gotta put this in my back pocket. We're gonna come back to that. As a professional, being that you are a licensed professional, what are your thoughts on these quote unquote fake glamour life coaches, and they weaponize their platforms against decent blue or white collar, but I see the smoke is for blue collar men, and they encourage the finesse, how to finesse a man out his bag, and they're under the guise of a life coach. What do you think about these particular women that it's applicable to, that are using their quote unquote licenses or fake doctors out here? What do you think about this?
I mean, I think it's going to lead to what we're already seeing, which is marriage is in crisis. Relationships are in crisis. There are going to be less and less relationships, less and less marriages. I think men are kind of over it. Like, they have reached an impasse where they're just not engaging. Men are just not engaging anymore. And remember, because women are relational, like, that's going to hit us differently than it hits them. So I think men are just saying pass. This whole idea of, paying for a person's number, cash-apping them to call them and all that other foolishness. It's ridiculous. But, relationships are more transactional now than they've ever been.
Right. Again, we're from the old school. We Gen X.
Right.
I am so old school. Let me look right in the camera. Hey, listen, everybody in YouTube world. I am so old school. I come from the, do you like me? Check. Yes, no, maybe. That's the cloth I come from. So I don't really, I mean, I've adapted. We're human. You got to adapt to your environment. But I am so used to the old school, and I was fine with rejection. And I want to make a point right here. I think that is the polarizing difference between the pathology of the makeup of men and women. Men have been used to rejection even as little boys. We learn what rejection feels like. We're not always gonna win. We're not always gonna come in first place. I'm not the tallest. I don't have the most money. I don't have the fanciest car or the biggest house or the biggest muscles. It creates, like you said, humility.
Yep.
Now let's reverse it. Women that it's applicable to now have always been given everything at their feet, even as a little girl. Oh my God, you're so pretty. Look at your hair. Oh, you're an angel. And then it transforms into you're a teenager and then to adulthood. Oh, you so fine, girl. Let me pay your rent. Let me pay your mortgage. Let me send you your Cash App. And again, it creates a monster in so many words.
It does.
It creates a monster.
Guess what can heal that? Let me tell you what the secret sauce is. And today's women don't have this, is a father.
Uh-oh.
So when people ask me why I have humility, why I am accountable, why I am radically responsible, it's because I had a father. And my father did not play that. Okay? If I came home with a bad grade, or if I came home with a detention, what did you do? What did you do to get, he held me accountable.
Did you get whoopings?
Oh God, yes. Oh God, yes.
I think not to cut you off, I'll yield the floor right back. I think that is what separates Gen X from
Yep.
the millennials and zennials, and I'm not
Yep.
condoning abuse. There is a
Right.
line in the sand,
Yeah.
but I think we're human.
Yeah.
If I may, right? God rest her soul, grandma. Grandma used to say, "Hey, baby, don't touch the stove. It's hot." And what my dumb ass go do?
Yep.
Oh, touch the stove, and then grandma come in there and go, "Oh, what you done did, baby? You
Yep.
don't. I told you not to touch the stove. Now go on the Frigidaire and give me a little butter so I can put the butter on, and grandma make it
Mhm.
nice." But I'm being funny and
Yeah.
facetious. But as adults, we don't learn until you mess up first.
Mm.
You gotta mess up first to learn your mistakes. We're creatures of habit. So my overall question now, we'll bring it to relationships and marriages,
Mhm.
is
Mhm.
if you have a track record of picking the wrong damn man,
Yep.
why do you blame all of the men that you have not met, but
Mm.
you keep yourself in this small little box dating the same archetype of man?
That's
Now
true.
it's your fault. You can't say all these brothers out here ain't shit, but you're
Yeah.
dating ain't shit dudes.
Yep.
Jono say, I don't understand why you
Yep.
keep. I understand why you keep getting the results you're getting, but you can't blame, like Kevin Samuel said, God rest his soul. You can't blame the market.
Right.
You cannot blame the market. And just the inverse. I'll put myself on the chopping block.
Mhm.
As a 48-year-old man, I cannot blame the market of women that I have not met based on a traumatic experience with an ex-girlfriend when I was 19.
Right. Right.
That does not make sense.
Yeah.
I hope that clears everything up. Anyway.
Yeah. But that's what smart people
Yeah.
do. See, smart
Yeah.
people are able to critically think. So that's the difference. Some people don't critically think. They don't say, okay, let me step back, let me self reflect. So, one of the things that I've always told people, and I'm very proud of this, yes, I chose the wrong man. I own that 100%. I
Okay.
also, at times, disrespected that man. I own that 100%. I wasn't going to get the best version of him if I was disrespectful. However, I have never again, since being divorced, dated another man like him. I've never been cheated on since then. Like, I now know how to choose a good, faithful, loving man. Okay? So I made that mistake one time. And I said, never again. I am going to vet this person carefully. I'm going to discern. I'm going to take my time. And I have gotten better results. So that's what I teach women. Like, step back, self-reflect. It isn't all him. What are you doing too? And then course correct, right? And choose someone different. I will not date a man with a bald head because of my ex-husband.
Oh man.
Like,
he got you like that.
I'm like, nope. Too much like, you know.
No Isaac Hayes for you? No.
Yeah. So, or even those characteristics. If I see anything like that, I say, well, if you choose this person, you're choosing to kind of do this dance again. So don't do that. It really is that simple. Stop choosing these type of men.
You said something, you alluded to something, and I want to thank you for being transparent. You said that I was verbally disrespectful.
Yep.
And you said you own it.
Yes, that's a woman's weapon. That's a woman's weapon, is her tongue.
I want to take that small piece right there. I'm going to move you to the side. And I'm just going to place it on the table in front of the 60-40 split that we have here on YouTube.
Yep.
And I want to, as sincere as I can put it, ladies, take heed. You do have a part in the destruction of your own relationship.
For sure.
And believe it or not, if you are verbally disrespectful, you may not have been told that you are verbally disrespectful. You don't have to necessarily yell, the tone thing, I'm 50-50 with that. But if you have not been told that you have a disrespectful demeanor or the way that you speak, is one thing to speak to someone and then speak at them or speak down to them and throw low blows whenever you get an opportunity if you have a disagreement. As adults, there's one thing that I've learned. I can disagree with everybody as of late. I can disagree with everybody, but I can do it in a respectful manner without throwing ad hominem attacks and then getting personal.
Right.
We could disagree, you know, like the Republicans and the Democrats and the liberal, you know, they disagree all day long on CNN and MSN.
Right.
But as soon as you start getting personal, the gloves are off now. Now that man has a decision to make. Is he going to put up with this verbal abuse? Because it's not always physical. I know that, you know, it's a hot topic, physical abuse, and we're not condoning it on either side. Keep your hands to yourself.
Right.
I'll say this much. I did 8 years in the military, 4 years Air Force active duty, and 4 years Army Reserves. I did 1 year and 3 months in Iraq, Operation Iraqi Freedom. I'm a combat veteran. Cool. Do not approach me. It will not end well for you.
Right.
We believe in equality over here. So with that being said, we're gonna shift gears for a second. We're gonna talk about an era in history where I believe some or most of the societal issues that we have in Black America, it was a starting point.
Right.
And I also have a video we can react to in about a minute or two. What do you think about the feminist movement and how it had a single hand in destroying the nuclear Black family?
I think the feminist movement was a part of it. It was definitely not all of it. We have to talk about the welfare state, the Moynihan Report. The feminist movement was a part of it, but it was not all of it. And we must talk about the welfare state. Once the father left the home, we were in trouble, because if we're being honest, feminism started back in I have to look it up, but we really were not a part of that movement. So it wasn't about Black women, and there were a lot of white men who couldn't vote. Right. So it wasn't about us, okay? It wasn't until the 60s and the welfare state. So you had a choice between, I'm going to collect a check from the government and they're going to become my husband, or I'm going to get out here and try to get educated and work. But either way it went, once the man was removed from the home, that's when we knew we were in trouble. So, but in the early days of feminism, Black women were nowhere to be found. We were really not a part of that movement. It was not about us at all. Back in 1966, 67, 76% of Black people were married. So that was not our fight. It was when the welfare state came into play. That's what really hurt us. Now, what's interesting is third and fourth wave feminism. So that first and second wave, that really wasn't about us. But third and fourth wave, that has impacted Black women probably more than ever. And so Black women wanting to get all of this education, like they're obsessed with education. And I find that fascinating. They're obsessed with education. They're obsessed with having a title. They're obsessed with being business owners. I find that fascinating. Like, I'm even fascinated by it. Like, wow, you know, you all, I don't know if this is some sort of cope or if it's, we've felt down for so long and this is how we feel better about ourselves. I think that's unfortunate. I always tell people, my degrees are a means to an end. I had to get the degrees I got so I could work the career I wanted. That was the only reason why I did it. If I was not a school teacher and a licensed therapist, I would not have gotten any degrees. It just so happened with the career that I chose, I had to be licensed. But
Right.
if it wasn't for that, I could care less. I
Mm.
really could care less. But for a lot of women, for them, it's part of their self esteem. So even if the degree doesn't even get them a high paying job,
Oh,
you notice how they're quick to tell men about it.
I got
So
a
that's
PhD.
Yep, that's what I find ironic. Like,
Mhm.
okay, so like you don't even make money. Like, what
Yeah.
is the point of it? So yeah,
Hmm.
it's a whole thing. But third and fourth wave, I think that has affected Black women more, and it's still not our fight. It's so weird. I have to convince Black women of that. It's not our fight. I'm always telling people, men were not sitting around 100 years ago thinking of ways to oppress women. That was not happening.
Hmm.
Men weren't thinking about women. They just
Yeah.
weren't considering women at all. But women believe that men oppress them. And I'm like, no, that wasn't happening. If anything, men were taking care of you all. So they were paying all the bills, paying all the taxes on the land. You had a credit account down at the general store that you could go down there and buy what you wanted, and your husband paid the bill. How is that oppression? He was taking care of you and your children.
Hmm.
But again, you have 22-year-old women that have been brainwashed into believing that women were oppressed, and they were not. They were not. And there
If
were
I'm,
plenty of women back then who didn't want the vote. They
Yep.
didn't want to vote.
if I may, let's have a history lesson.
Mm,
Uh, you said third and fourth wave feminism. I'm a build up to that. Let's start with the first wave feminism, and then we'll interconnect the conversation.
yep.
First wave feminism actually started in 1920.
Yeah.
1920 was the first, official first wave of feminism, and it was not a Black woman's fight.
No,
Like you said, it was a
not
white
even.
woman's fight. It's a
Yep.
white woman's fight. They were
Yep.
they were upset that the men were allowed to just do everything, and it's basically a power struggle, you
Right.
know. And then as we trickle forward into the 50s and 60s, particularly 1963, when the feminist movement was started by Kate Millett, and that's the video we will be reacting to. So I'll pull it up in a second.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's very strange in my loose opinion now, because now we're gonna divide the conversation in half,
Mm.
and I'm gonna say this really slow for the audience. Again, the first wave, second, third, and fourth wave of feminism had nothing to do with Black women. No, it initially started in 1920.
Yep.
There was a trickle, they didn't have the right to have a bank account, they couldn't vote, etc., etc., etc. Cool. We'll jump forward to 1963, the initial start of third wave feminism, led by Kate Millett. And by the
Mm.
way, she did not like women. She did not like men. She was a lesbian.
Right.
Most people, a white woman that like white
Yep.
women.
Yep.
Like to add that, put that in your memory Rolodex, and we'll come back to that. And in my loose opinion, when all of the soldiers returned back from the Vietnam War in 72, most of the soldiers, white soldiers that came back, were allowed access to the GI Bill. They
Mm.
were allowed access to government loans and housing, affordable housing, etc., etc. It was laid at their feet. And the number one recipients of all these privileges were the wives.
Mm.
So after they got all of their rights, after causing mass hysteria, they were like, okay, we got our rights, and they did an about face and went right back to their husbands.
Yep.
Now this is where the government got involved, and I believe everybody kind of misses this part of, I'll call them the perpetrators. The
Mm.
United States government had a hand, particularly the FBI and the CIA, had a personal hand in destroying the black nuclear family. Like you said, men were not allowed in the black community in 1963 to be present because that would disqualify all of these baby mothers because they were not married. They just had children.
Yep.
They would be disqualified, and they sent social workers, particularly around the metropolitan area, New York City, Harlem, Detroit, Chicago, Mississippi, Alabama. They sent social workers around all of these low-income areas just to check to see if they found a man's suit, shoes, or a man's presence in these homes, just so these women, and they could have as many, and it's kind of like this is the destruction happening in real time.
Right.
It kind of perpetuated having multiple babies by one person and or multiple baby daddies.
Yep.
And then you develop this attachment to the government because per baby you got more money. But as long as there was no man in the house.
Right.
So as you can see, black men became the boogeyman or the absentee father by force. Yes, there were fathers that were there, but there were also a big group of fathers that were not there. Hence the past four decades of baby mama culture, and now we're here. You can't have one without the other, like the Matrix, cause and effect. This is the long-term effect of somebody else meddling in the nuclear black family. So granted, I'll give credence to the black fathers that were present, and I'll go like this to the black fathers that were absent by choice. There were fathers that just walked away and abandoned their children. Shame on you.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is 1963 to 72. This is about a 10-year span. But this is how we got here. Most people don't know this information.
Yeah.
They think it just happened overnight, and all of these women had all of these babies, and every black man just loose with his seed, and now we have all of these YNs and women on OnlyFans in an abundance, which is crazy to me.
Right. And then keep in mind the culture, the pillars of our culture also changed. So we had, and I talk to women about this even to this day. So if you're familiar with slut shaming has existed since the beginning of time, and it is women checking other women. Because we knew that if we let women run amok, give men a bunch of free sex, go out here and have a bunch of kids, we knew that lowers our value. So that's why it's important that women do that women check other women. Because if I'm a good girl and I am saving myself for my husband, but Charlene around the corner is letting everybody hit, that's now going to hurt my chances. That's going to hurt the good girl's chances. So I've had women email me or DM me and say that, you slut shame. I sure do. I sure do. I own that has been historically a way that women check other women. We make sure our value stays high, and that women like that are not causing the value of sex to plummet. But that hasn't, in fact, that's what's happened.
Yeah. If this were the stock market, the price of vagina would be a penny stock right now.
Oh, it's a negative. It's a negative.
You'd be losing money.
Negative. Right.
You'd be losing money. Yeah, be losing money. I'm going to pause the conversation because we are talking about the feminist movement and the damage that it did. And this is for the viewers too. I took a video from my channel and I kind of chopped it up. It's like a 2-minute video. I want your honest opinion. Maybe you know this information, maybe you don't. So without further ado,
Well, this might shock you because I also thought the same for a very, very long time, that the people who created feminism actually were nice people who wanted the best for everyone and just wanted equality.
A few moments later.
Here's what really happened. So Kate Millett, she was an American feminist, author, and artist. She is the founder of the National Organization for Women. Her sister, Mallory, was invited to one of the first meetings that established the National Organization for Women. So this is a feminist group that has been around since the start of the feminist movement, and they basically pioneered the whole movement.
Hey, yo, you might have just made a fact just now. That's some real shit.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
At this meeting, they gathered around a large table with Kate Millett, the chairperson, and she opened the meeting with the following back and forth recitation. So this is how the beginning of the meeting went.
And here we go.
Why are we here today, she asked. To make revolution, they answered. What kind of revolution? The cultural revolution. How do we make cultural revolution?
By destroying the American family.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait, first of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
How do we destroy the family? By destroying the American patriarch. And how do we destroy the American patriarch? By taking away his power. And how do we do that? By destroying monogamy. And how do we destroy monogamy?
By promoting promiscuity, eroticism, prostitution, and homosexuality.
What? What the fuck?
So this proceeded with a long discussion on how to advance these goals by establishing the National Organization of Women. Leader's sister says, it was clear they desired nothing less than the utter deconstruction of Western society.
Goodbye.
Rest in peace to the Godfather. Oh yeah, let's restore the nuclear. Let's restore. What is it? What I put at the end? Let's restore the nuclear family for all the people that think, we just have a destructive message here on YouTube. Okay, so what was your thoughts on that?
Well, here's what I found so interesting about that. So I don't know if you're aware of the BLM movement.
Yes, I am.
So when the BLM movement first started, and this is prior to, I think it was 2017 or 18. 2017 or 18 is when BLM first started. A lot of people don't realize that. But if you went to their website, so when all of the George Floyd stuff started, when that happened that summer and the whole world exploded, the first thing I did was, because when they made themselves known in this big way, the Black Lives Matter, the first thing I did was ran to their website. I read every page of their website. And on that very website, it talked about dismantling the heteronormative family system. Yes. It talked about a bunch of Black lesbians who it really had nothing to do with Black men at all.
Thank you.
It was a bunch of Black lesbian women. They had it, and I remember telling everybody, like, go over to this website and look under our mission. Look under what they wrote is the mission of Black Lives Matter. I couldn't believe it. Like, I couldn't believe what I was reading. I was like,
you and me read the same paragraph, and everybody thought I was crazy. And here's the irony. Here's the irony. I wish I would have screenshotted it. Excuse me. I wish I would have screenshotted it, because I went maybe last year sometime. Oh, that small paragraph that was in the middle about having a gender neutralist society and reversing the roles of the nuclear family and excluding the men. That passage is gone.
It's long gone.
It's gone. They washed their hands of it. But at least I know you saw what I saw.
Oh yes, I did, and I went through the same thing as you. People were like, "What? Why would they say that?" Like, yo, run over to the website and read it. Read who we are and what we believe, what our mission is. That's what it was under. Just read. And this is on their website. This is what they wrote. And that's what it reminds me of. Like, they're telling on themselves. And people are blindly eating it up.
In my loose opinion, the Black Lives Matter hijacked this civil rights kind of movement.
Oh yeah.
It was hijacked with another agenda. I call it the magician's sleight of hand trick.
Right, but the LGBTQIA has been doing that forever. They have been doing that forever. I don't know why we can't seem to figure that out. How has so much progress been made in that movement, and we've been at this for 400 plus years? Like, we've been trying to get some stuff for a while, and yet you got the T's in the LGBT that done, they done took over the bathrooms and took over the sports, and
they got a severance package.
Come on.
I'm glad you said 400 years of slavery, because that's actually, my next question. And for everybody out there in YouTube land, we are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook right now. Here's my question. After 400 years of slavery, Jim Crow, black law, segregation, professionally diagnose the black community as a whole. Your professional diagnosis.
That's a tough one. So many things, right? There's so many things. In some regards, we have experienced kind of a collective traumatic event. And in some regards, we are still very much pitted against one another. We don't see each other as safe. So in some regards, we're still very much pitted against one another. And now in 2025, if I can be honest, we don't even have a collective culture, right? We don't even have a collective culture that most Black people can stand behind. We don't even have that. We did back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. That's why we had the civil rights movement. We all had a common goal. We all had a common dream. But now...
Be together. Let's be together.
Right. But now we don't. We don't. You got all these subcultures within our culture. And as you said, a lot of those subcultures are destroying us from the inside out. So that to me is what's so dangerous.
I have a question for you. It's an open-ended question. We are the founders of everything cool in America.
Yeah, for sure. If we can just patent it, that's our reparations.
Right. My question is, because I'm a fan of all types of music. Hip hop basically raised me. I'm a shout out to Mama and Papa Bear. If I could segue for a second, I guess it was ordained from above, because I also DJ, right? And I'm an electrician by trade via the military, but I DJ. I think, in my loose opinion, why don't we own the music that we put out and everybody takes from our culture? From hip hop to R&B to funk, blues, soul, country music, classical, we created everything that has been taken from us, and we don't own it.
Yep.
Specifically hip hop.
Yep.
R&B, funk, blues, and rock and roll. That's us. That is us. Why we don't own our own music? Why do we need somebody else to distribute something that comes from the soul? We're talking about our pain, our struggle.
Yeah.
Hence the blues, B.B. King, John Coltrane.
Yeah.
And again, I'm giving my biased opinion because I am a DJ and I believe in the art.
Yeah.
You know, it sucks that people take from our culture but don't understand living the life that we do in this skin. We can't
Yeah.
take it off when stuff
Get
gets
off. That's
rough.
right. Yep.
Everybody, I have a saying that I poke fun at my coworker. Shout out to Teddy, the Greek freak.
Mhm.
I say, yeah, everybody wants to be black until it's time to be black.
Mhm.
Then
Yep.
you're safe in your own culture.
Right.
No, shout out to comedian Godfrey. I know black. I'm Dominican. I know black. No, 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 no,
Yep.
no, no, nunca, nunca, nunca.
Yep.
Nobody wants to be black until it's time to be black. And I
Right.
think that being that America has such an ugly history,
Hmm.
nobody wants to be tied to that part of history.
Right.
They'll take the soul food, they'll take the fried chicken, collard
Yep.
greens, mac and cheese, and doing the huckabug and the jug and all this other stuff, and they'll take our Jay-Z's and Beyonce's, and
Yep.
you know, they'll take our music, our blues, funk, but they forgot 400 years worth of free labor being brutally murdered and tortured and sodomized,
Yeah.
and 400 years worth of governmental laws keeping their thumb on our neck so we
Yep.
can't live a prosperous normal life like everybody else. Crazy. Crazy.
Yeah.
We about to have an uncomfortable conversation right now. We spoke about this briefly.
Hmm.
How do I start this conversation? I'm putting my ace of spades on the table, so let me issue a trigger warning to all my melanated sisters out there. We about to have some uncomfortable conversation right now. Why do you think, in your professional opinion or personal, that when black men in particular give their objective critique about a black woman's behavior and how they present themselves to the dating market, it is seen as hate speech?
Right.
You're being sassy. They attack your masculinity or your sexual preference, and we're just telling you what we want in a woman. Why do you think a black man's preference, specifically to black women, why are our preferences and standards demonized when we're just
Right.
giving some objective critique?
Right. Well, Jeff St. James said it best. You know, there are topics that we've been taught we can't speak on. And the black woman is one of those topics. Like, we have been trained that you don't speak on the black woman. That, you know, this whole idea of what was Malcolm X's his famous quote where the black woman is the most unprotected, the most disrespected, etc. So see, that's a lot of people's mindset. And so to hold her accountable, to call her out, like I get that. They say, oh, you're calling us out. Oh, you're talking so bad about us. And I let them know, look, I'm only saying what I see. So if you want me to say something different, show me something different. I am only saying what I see happening online, out in the world, every single day. If you want my mouth to say something different, show me something different. And for the record, not every black woman is horrible. Not every black man is horrible. Right. There is enough to go around. There is enough to go around. We both need to clean up our side of the fence. But when I do see, like you said, baby mama culture, baby daddy culture, when I do see this transactional dating, you know, and what are you going to do for me? And I want to go on a shopping spree on the first date, you know, this type of behavior, the YN behavior, like, you know, like, show me something different and I will speak on it. But it's because, you know, we've been taught, and think about it. 50 to 60 years ago, and I tell people this, the black woman was different. Even the single black mother was different. these single mothers today, like, I don't know what they on. I don't know what y'all on. But my mother was a single mother at one point.
Oh shit.
And guess what? None of her kids have ever been in jail. None of them are strung out on drugs. We're not alcoholics. We're all educated. The Black mother was different then. And you had, Medea and, your grandmother. But see, we don't have that now. So yeah, we are calling that out because it is so radically different. And so, but again, we've been taught that you can't speak on the Black woman. But like I said, that has to change because the Black woman is different. Like she's not the same as she was 60 years ago. Right.
Right. If I may, let me just pause the music because this is a point I'd like to make. As much as we talk about the bad, but you can't have one without the other. Can't talk about the good because if you're doing good, all right, we don't need to say anything. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. I like to take this second out. We always talk about the days of old, my grandmother's generation, my mother's generation, but I would like to commend all of the single mothers currently in 2025. If you are doing an excellent job, even if your kids are small or your kids are out of the house and grown and they're productive members of society, I'd like to give you a rabbit hole round of applause. Right. Y'all don't get your flowers because again, the focus is not on y'all because y'all are doing what you're supposed to be doing. Right. And I make a metaphor on my channel. I go, in Black America, being normal, considered normal, we represent the gray and brown elephants.
Right.
It means you're normal.
Yep.
You're heterosexual. You got a job and or career. Yep. You went to school. You went to trade school. You went to the military. You're blue or white collar. You're paying your taxes. You're staying out of the way.
Yep.
You're brown or you're gray. That's normal, right? Now, what's the anomalies? The pink elephant. Hence the pink elephant in the room.
Yep.
So my thing is, of course, in a field or sea of gray and brown elephants, where is the focus going to be? The ones that are acting up. The pink elephants in the room.
That's right.
So that's why there's so much hyper focus with the help of social media. There is so much hyper focus on what's wrong. And my thing is this, if we don't point out what's wrong, we can't come to a solution.
Right.
You have to talk about what's wrong or else change will not come forth.
That's right.
You have to talk about the problems. And now I will enter the uncomfortable parts of the Black community amongst our women.
Yeah.
And stop me if you think I'm going off base. Obesity.
But again, it is one of those unspoken things. I've experienced it. Like I've had to deliver the harsh news in couples therapy. Like, hey, you need to get your body together. I've had to do it. And at least that way she can leave there hating me. like she's not going home hating her husband, but I'm like, hey, hey, you gotta do something about this. And they want you to believe that it doesn't matter. It does matter. It very much matters. And guess what? What your husband thinks and feels matter. Why would you be in a marriage with this person and not consider them? That don't make no sense. But I do have to tell people, you know what? If you gaining 100 pounds or you letting yourself go or doing whatever you wanted to do, you should have stayed single. Because guess what? I get to be me. I get to let it all hang out and be me. Now, I don't do that because I like looking at myself. But I get to be me because I am unmarried. But if I'm married, I have to consider another person. Like I thought we all knew that, but for some reason, they want to have their cake and eat it too. I want a man for the benefits of being with a man, but I don't want to listen to him. I don't want to consider him. I don't want to what? Okay. Yeah, but
Doesn't
this generation is wild. It's wild to
doesn't make
me.
it doesn't make any sense. You want the provision and protection of having a man in the house. You
Yep.
want access to his money and resources and his body, right?
Yeah.
But you're not willing to give him the reciprocation that would keep that bond nice and strong and equal longevity, like our grandma and them.
Exactly.
Doesn't make these jigsaw pieces are not fitting together.
Right.
Like they don't fit.
And
I don't
again,
know.
if you consider a man's thoughts or feelings, you're called a pick-me.
Huh?
That's where we are now. Then
Be
if
a
I
pick me,
say-
because you're gonna get picked. God damn it. Be a pick me. Get picked.
Yep.
That way you can have a nice privileged perched position
Yep.
on like the Jeff said, we moving on up. Yep, you're
Yep.
moving on up.
Yep.
You got I'm so old school like Martin Lawrence. You go, girl. You got
Yep.
your man. That's right. That's right. Don't be out here. Winter, like Kevin Samuels said, winter's coming. Don't be
Yeah.
out here. It's 20 degrees. Your car covered in snow, and you looking at yourself. You looking at your
Nope.
Shih Tzu Terrier. Your Shih Tzu Terrier ain't gonna knock all this snow off your car. Cut it out.
No.
Cut it out. You
But
better go
our
get your
women-
man. Go get your
Yeah.
man.
Our women, we have long needed a wake-up call when it comes to just our appearance, period. Like, especially now, what I find so distasteful is in the last, I'm going to say 25 years, I'm going to take a stab at this. In the last 25 years, our women, like, we have these relationships with gay men. We have these relationships with transsexual men, gay men, and we have become them. Like, we dress up like transsexuals. I think that's fascinating.
Say it again. I'm gonna expound on that. But I'm gonna let you cook. Keep cook.
Yeah, I think that's weird that we have these gay male friends or these transsexual friends, and now it's like we have become them. So in our mind, even though we're biological women, we put on like femininity. We put on this costume and we prance around with this hair and these lashes and these nails and these clothes. And I'm thinking to myself, I can step out the shower and I'm a woman. Like, I don't need to do all that. I find that fascinating. And I've never, ever wanted to look like that. I think that's fascinating. But I think it's this friendship we have with gay men. And so now it's like we looking more and more like them. It's really odd.
I want to expound on that. It started, if I could give it a starting point. Some people may not like this, but I believe it started with RuPaul. Shout out to RuPaul. I'm not coming at you. I'm not coming at you, brother.
Yep.
But what you did for the fashion industry and the drag, it was called drag.
Drag. Yep. It's called drag queens.
Right?
Yep.
And the correlation of how that genre of people, they kind of gravitate to like house music.
Yep.
And it's like a cool vibe, and it's like a judgment-free zone. That kind of it merges everything now, but that look, this kind of like over exaggerated look of a let me be clear, a biological man with an X and Y chromosome with cosplay makeup and wigs and the eyebrows and the lashes, this over exaggerated version of what they think femininity looks like.
And women are doing it. Like, women it's crazy.
If I may, I'm a link it together.
Right.
It started with him. Then we had a movie that came out in the early 90s. Shout out to Halle Berry. No, I love you, girl. Babs.
Okay.
Again, the over exaggerated, loud color hair, snuffleupagus eyelashes, these Freddy Krueger nails, and this crazy wig fixated on top of their head, looking crazy. But if you just take a quick second, look, and I'm poking fun, but I'm making an example. Look at how exaggerated RuPaul depicted his version of femininity, or what he thought. This is what I want to look like if I was a woman.
Right.
Take Baps. Now combine it together. Fast forward to now.
Yep.
That over exaggerated look is not what the majority of heterosexual men do not like.
Not even close.
Not, like
not even close.
No.
Oh.
No. We do not like it. I'll say this much. For the, like you said, for the BBLs and the Botox injections and the lip fillers and the fake breasts and listen, I'm a man, so I'm gonna be truthful and honest.
Yeah.
You can't confuse sexual attention with the overall outcome of having a good man, a stable man, and marriage and a healthy household.
Right.
You can't conflate the two. Yes, you're gonna get a consensus of sexual attention from men. Your DMs is flooded, no matter how you look. I don't even care no more. No matter how you look, yes, your DMs are flooded. Do you know how many men's is in my DMs? Yes. The long list of penises are lined up because that's the type of energy you're putting out.
Right.
I don't see wife. That essence, the essence of femininity and etiquette and decorum. No, I don't get that. I get, I'm gonna have a good time with you and I'm gonna shoot my shot because I'm a man.
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna get. So if you are fine with having an abundance of male attention, sexual attention,
right,
but not having the overall package of having a good man is gonna be by you when you got your nose all snotted up with tissue and you got your rollers in your hair, not looking fugly, you ain't gonna get that.
Right.
You're gonna get the call at 2 a.m. when he's coming out the club. Hey, where you at? You home? All right, cool. I'm gonna pull up. Yeah, keep the door open. That's what you're gonna get. You might get flued out depending on how good you look.
Right.
You might get flued out. You might get some bags. You might get some purses. You might get some shoes. You might be able to vacation in Cabo on a yacht or two, depending on how pretty you are. But most women are not experiencing that lavish.
No, they're not.
They're not.
Nope.
They're not. So let me move forward to the next talking point.
Yeah.
How did we arrive with this abundance? Or I say it's rampant. Baby mama culture. No one, everyone fawns over being married, but no one wants to take the necessary route, the GPS route to marriage. The end goal is marriage. If your end goal is marriage, but nobody has a problem. We call them oops babies.
Right.
Well, you trapped the nigga. You trapped him.
Yeah.
Trap. You got a trap baby, or you had a check baby. What do you think about this?
Well, I think once sex became devalued, so once we started to see sex as a recreational thing that we do, and again, the sexual liberation movement, I'm always telling people the only thing that did was liberate a man's base nature. That's all that happened. It didn't liberate women. It simply liberated, overly sexual men, or if I could be honest, dark triad men. So it liberated them. It gave them access to free sex. I don't know if people are aware of this, but even prostitution went down in the 70s and the early 80s. Prostitutes were struggling because regular old women were out here having sex and being in these orgies and having open marriages and all of that. Prostitution took a hit because sex was now devalued. Sex has been devalued. So once that happened, once they made it so that the consequences of sex were now null and void, so birth control came on the scene, abortion. So now a woman can have sex like a man without consequences.
Allegedly.
And once sex is devalued, that's what happened. Now, here's what's fascinating to me. I'm still trying to figure out And, I get a lot of pushback about this, but I'm trying to figure out why Black women don't consistently use birth control. Like, I'm truly stumped. I'm truly stumped. I don't know if it's a psychosis. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a trauma. I don't know why they won't consistently use birth control, because I used to work with teen girls right before I got married as a teacher. I would do these programs and run these group meetings, and they were so fascinated by the fact that I was 30 years old and I didn't have any children. And they were like, how did you do that? I said, it's called birth control. like, why aren't you utilizing birth control? Every time you have sex, especially now, it doesn't have to end in a baby.
Right.
Like, we have things that can actually stop conception. And I've always been fascinated by that. Why don't these people consistently use birth control? Now, like you said earlier, there are some women who are strategically doing this on purpose.
Yes.
So that is a percentage, but that's not all. There are plenty of women having children by multiple men. These men don't have anything, and yet they keep having children by them. So I want to understand what's going on in that woman's mind. Like, what is going on in your mind that you keep having sex with these men? They don't have anything, and yet you have babies by them.
Please explain that to me using English, please. Use English.
I don't know. But they keep, they have 3 and 4 and 5 kids. All of them have different fathers. And I'm like, why aren't you using birth control? I just don't understand that. Like, here it is, 2025. We have all these different forms of birth control, but they're not utilizing it. So I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated like everybody else. I'm trying to figure out the mindset. Like, what's the psychology behind that? Why do they continue to take these risks and have these kids and then get stuck with these kids? And let's be honest, having a child is a huge responsibility. And so that responsibility is more than likely going to fall on the mother. So if anyone should be on birth control, it's her. It's her. So it's a mindset that I just don't understand. I don't, because like I said, prior to being married, I had dated 2 other people, my first love in high school, and then one other person that I lived with. But I was on birth control. I was just like, I'm on birth control. I do not want to have any children until I am married, and it is, safe for me to have children. And that's what I did. So I've always been like flabbergasted by that. Why don't you just use birth control? So go figure. I have no idea.
This leads me to my next question. In two parts. There is a phrase out here in the Black community, son husbands.
Yeah.
Son husbands, and this is my loose opinion, and I'll yield the floor to you. It's a real thing.
Yeah, it is.
And if people don't know what we're talking about, we are talking about the single mothers that are out there, or the baby mothers,
right,
that are out there that are raising young boys, and the father is not more than likely 9 times out of 10 not in the picture, and they are treating this young boy like he is the husband. Like he's the man of the house, and they're overcompensating for the absence of the biological father being present. They're dressing him up like a man. In my loose opinion of the videos that I've seen online, they are crossing the lines
very much
of the mother and son dynamic, almost ancestral like.
Yeah, it's gross.
And it's very weird. It's
it
very
is beyond weird. Taking mom to the prom and to
that's crazy.
Homecoming. It's just sick.
That's crazy.
It's sick.
So,
but here's what I want you to understand. These women are emotionally stunted. They're emotionally immature. Right? So they're still 17 in their mind. Like, they may be 35 or 40, but they're still 17.
I think shout out to Shahrazad Ali. She said most Black women don't mature past 14. Do you disagree from a professional standpoint?
I don't. And guess what? Clinical research has shown us that when a woman, this is a study, there is a study, and I've got to find the specifics of it, but there is a study done that says when a woman has a child before the age of 21, that she does not go through the stages, she does not go through the proper developmental stages. Her emotional maturity gets stunted. So when she gets pregnant and has a child before she's 21 years old, research has proven that whatever age she bears that child, she is stuck.
And that is proven by the professionals.
Yep.
Wowzers. I want to issue a trigger warning. We're about to deep dive, and we're gonna stay here for a second. I just want to issue a trigger warning to all the young ladies out there that know who I am. Mama, I just gotta apologize real quick. There is a term, and this is a very nuanced term, and it comes with a negative connotation. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the boss babe, I'm a bad bitch.
Yep.
Blah 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 blah. It sounds like noise to me.
Right.
Why do you think that this let me make a statement first, and I'll ask a question. I think, in my loose opinion, that this mentality is dangerous. And it's not conducive to the outcome that most heterosexual women would like, which is a husband, children, family, and a healthy household.
Right.
Why or where? Why do you think this mentality has been adopted, and where do you think it started?
I think we had talked about the education and how obsessed Black women are with education. Again, I think it's a self-esteem issue. I think it's there's something going on within them that they feel the need to prove themselves, right? And they're very competitive. This is really weird how competitive they are with men. Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand this need to compete with men and to try to do what men do and, one up men. I don't understand that because I don't want to be a man. Like I said, I have a superpower as a woman. So, I lean back on my laurels. Like, I've done something can't no man do. And to me, outside of God, that gives me my worth and value. Like, I know what my worth and value is. I don't need a degree. I don't need my business. I tell people this all the time. I don't need my business. I don't need my degree. I know what my worth and value is. So I think it's a self-esteem issue. And it's that self-validation that if I call myself this, and if I get all this education and I start these businesses and do all this stuff and have all these titles, I am somebody, I am somebody. But, I don't think you need to have all of that. Like, you have to know who you are in yourself. Like, God tells me who I am, and I know who I am. I don't need all that stuff to know who I am.
I think shout out to Dr. L. He's tuning in. He said, "What about the 40-year-olds who are immature?" I think you answered it. You said typically for the women who had a child before 21, they're
didn't have a father, right? Those are the two factors. If you had a child young, and if you didn't have a father in the home, that's going to lend to a woman being emotionally immature.
Right. So, quick question. We had a conversation offline before. Did you happen to catch In the Shadow of the Moon? Did you watch it?
I did not. I've been swamped.
Oh man. Yeah, well, we'll have fun really quick. Okay. I'm a fan of cinema. I love watching movies. That is my pastime. And if I could be brutally honest, my time over in Iraq when I served this country, watching movies kept me sane.
Oh, for sure. I can see that.
Watching movies kept me sane.
Yeah.
That was my outlet.
Yep.
That was my 2 hour time to just diffuse and totally disconnect from where I was.
Yep.
and I was totally immersed in the movie.
Yeah.
And
I can
that
see
kept
that.
me sane. It kept me sane. It kept me alert, because
Mhm.
we're in a hostile situation. But I'll say that to say this: if people don't know who I'm talking about, the movie on Netflix. It's on Netflix. It's called In the Shadow of the Moon, and it's about it's a futuristic sci-fi thriller. By the way, it's about a serial killer, and it takes place.
Okay.
It's dated. It takes place in like 1984, starring Bakeem Woodbine. Shout out to him.
Mhm.
And it takes place in Philly. There is this serial killer that kills multiple people in multiple locations at the same time. And they're trying to figure out, how did the killer do this? Like, how can you be in several places at one time and kill multiple victims the same way?
Mm.
How can you be in multiple places at the same time? So I kind of took that ideology and I kind of merged it with Back to the Future. I said, and I did a show. I'll send it to you after this show is over. This is about 2 years ago. I did a show. I said, what would I do if I had this ability to time travel? And I said, you know what? You know what I would do? I would go back in time and I would save Malcolm X and I would save Fred Hampton. What do you think about that?
Those are two great choices. Those are two excellent choices. I wonder how different the world might be if they were either still alive or kind of reaching the tail end of their life. Yeah.
Yeah, my
How
thing
might
was,
our world be different? Yeah.
I tell everybody this, that, because this is my cinema brain thinking. I said, you know what? I know my intentions are good, just because I'm a fan of Malik Al-Shabazz, aka Malcolm X, and what he stood for. He stood for principles, integrity. He was your man's man, and also Fred Hampton.
Yeah.
What he stood for in Chicago. He started the free lunch programs, feeding the children during the summer, and he birthed the Rainbow Coalition. He actually had black people, white people, Latino people, Vietnam vets, all and a whole bunch of gangs. He actually got the gangs that were beefing to actually come to a truce and fight for a greater cause, which was being pro-black and keeping the black nuclear family together. And I was like, you know what? If I had my way and I can go time travel and go back in time, I would specifically save these two men, but I know it would cause a ripple effect in the future. It would cause a ripple effect. And I said, you know what? I'm cool with the ripple effect, but I want to see what would have happened if these two men lived all the way to the end of their time. And how would the black men in the community today, how would our women see us if this type of influence was over us, like an umbrella?
Right.
Like, I wonder how our women would see us. Would they still see us the way that we ain't shit? Would they still see us this way? If this type of influence was with every black man that you see, the majority, yes, stand up guys, look good in the suit, take care of his family. And now, I'm not saying that the majority of black men don't do that, but it appears on the surface that we're always thrown under this moral guillotine, like it's only the negativity.
Right.
Because the spotlight is on the negative all the time, and it saddens me. And I always allude to this stat on blackdemographics.com. 54% of black men today are single and childless. That means the majority of black men today do not have children. 61% of black women have children. That's way more than half. So half of black men don't even have kids. So I don't get where this constant catchphrase always comes from. Oh, well, all y'all out here with all these babies. Actually, no, it's only 46%.
Right.
It's only 46. And like you said, there are women, I'll put my ace of spades back on the table. There are black women that are having multiple babies with multiple men, but they represent about 10 to 20% of the men that keep having babies.
Right.
Not the 54% of black men that are single and childless. Math, not feelings.
Yeah.
Math.
Yeah.
Math.
So the same dudes are having all the kids, with
I'm
all
a
these
yield.
different women.
I'm gonna yield the
That's what's
floor to
happening.
you and ask you this funny question.
hmm
When do you think the gender war began?
I noticed it pre-COVID. So pre-COVID, I noticed some unrest. I noticed some unrest, and it was concerning, right? And I would even say pre-Kevin Samuels.
Really?
Even
Expound.
pre-Kevin Samuels, I noticed some
Oh,
unrest.
That's pre-COVID. That's pre-COVID.
Yeah, like even pre-Kevin Samuels. So I noticed it in the white community first. And I noticed, because I look at every...
I think she froze. I think you
A lot of
froze.
different stuff.
There you go.
Yeah,
You froze. You
hold on
froze.
a
You froze
second.
for a
I
little
was
bit.
wondering
Can
if
you?
that was me.
Yeah. Can you
Okay.
repeat what you
Yep.
just said? You froze for a little bit.
But I noticed it in the white community first, and maybe you could call that the red pill, but I started to notice men kind of waking up to some things about women. And then women just not having the same appreciation for men. They just did not have the same appreciation that women tend to have for good men. And I started noticing some rumblings then. And then, Kevin Samuels comes on the scene, and it definitely explodes in our community. So our community is now actively talking about, women, their ridiculous expectations. Average at best became a household word. So that's when it really started ramping up. And then more men. So, Kevin passes away, and so other men pick up that torch. A lot of men. So it wasn't just one, it was a lot of men. A lot of men started picking up that torch and started talking about it and started calling women out and noticing things. And so women, of course, thinking they're the fairer sex, they don't like this. They don't like men, calling them out, holding them accountable, because they want men to believe that they're sugar and spice and everything nice. And that is when it was on. It was on. But men were, speaking up and standing up. And they were saying, yeah, this isn't cool. This isn't right. These standards y'all have are ridiculous. And this, transactional nature of dating is horrible. And now women are kind of fighting for their life. But, here's the sad part. The genie is out of the bottle, because a lot of women's bad behavior, it's like, what do you do with that? Like, what do you do with that? You can't unsee it. You can't unsee some of the things that women have said and done.
Hence the pink elephant.
Yep.
You are forced.
You can't unsee it.
You are forced now, I guess, via social media. And I had an epiphany. This is why back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, let me come forward some. 70s, 80s, 90s, before social media. This is why the bond between black men and black women was so strong. You wasn't really focused on what everybody else was doing. You was focused with your community, your 8-block radius, etc., etc. You got your daily via the news, but you were more so focused on the community. The community was a safe place. The kids could play outside. You come home and the street light comes on. Mr. Johnson, if he saw you acting up, he go upside your head too. Yeah. And then tell your mommy and daddy, hey, by the way, I had to go upside your son's head because you was over there standing on my Cadillac, and he know damn well he supposed to be standing on nobody's car. I'm just letting you know. He like, oh, okay, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
And then you get it from them too. Yeah.
Right. So I think we lost sight of community, and it's
Yeah.
almost like taboo. Like you said, we can't say anything anymore.
No.
And it's like, well, when has that ever been the norm to a
Right.
thriving society where you don't have any checks and balances? That's anarchy.
Right. It
Like,
is. And the church joined. So the church
shit.
joined that movement.
Oh,
The
shit.
church
You
completely.
about to upset all those good Christian folks out there.
The church has completely abandoned the culture.
They
They have become like the culture. So at one point, the church was the place to check you. The church was the place to keep you within a moral standard. Oh no, that's gone. That's gone. The church is the rottenest, dirtiest place ever.
Uh-oh.
So yeah.
Uh-oh. We not supposed to say that, Miss Anita.
I know, but it's the truth. It's the truth.
Listen, I again, are you familiar with Dr. Joy DeGruy?
I am not. Tell me a little bit. Yeah.
You know what? She wrote a book called Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. And she has a dissertation that she has. It's actually on YouTube. You can look it up. It's called Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. It's about an hour and 20 minutes. She's in a nice little auditorium, and she full of professionals and colleagues and stuff. And she gave a very excellent PowerPoint presentation on, I guess, the overall Black experience in America, but kind of unveiling back the veil of the uglier parts of American history that nobody talks about. I'm going to ask you this question because she asked a question to the room full of professionals. Out of the 400 years of slavery that has plagued foundational Black Americans, have we had a social timeout, a professional time to just say, hey, America, time, flag on the play, holding, on the defense, 20-yard penalty. Everybody that does not look like us, can you please step to the left? All right, cool. Now, everybody that looks like us, please step forward. We're going to usher you guys to all of these Peter Pan buses. We're going to expedite you out to all of the tarmacs. We're going to fly you out to this tropical Caribbean island, and we are going to have 31 uninterrupted days of healing and therapy.
Right. No.
Do you think what do you think about her professional stance on that? We haven't had a social timeout in America.
Yeah, not even close. Not even close. So, and I think we could use it. I think we could definitely use it to have that time to reset and to get our minds right and to learn some skills and some tools. I think we definitely could use it.
I think this is my loose opinion, and I'm kind of playing devil's advocate because I want to solve the issue for the women. I say, and I'm gonna have my Thanos glove, and then I'll yield the floor back to you with the Thanos glove, because I want to see what you're gonna say. I got the Thanos glove, right? For my MCU guys that watch Marvel movies, I got the Thanos glove. For all the women, I'm gonna take the Ace of Spades off the table. It's for women in the West.
Okay, there we go.
I believe in equality. So for all the women that say we don't need no man, I could do bad all by myself.
I think we've got some technical difficulties.
Okay.
There we are. Okay, we had some technical difficulties. There we go.
Okay. For all the women that's in the West that say, I don't need no man, I could do bad all by myself. I would like all of those women to raise your hand so we can clearly identify you.
Right.
We don't want no chameleons. Just raise your hand politely.
Right.
I have a whole bunch of Greyhound and Peter Pan buses. I got, they're men, by the way, on staff. I want all of you young ladies, don't matter, black, white, green, yellow, purple, come on down. You are the next contestant on this social experiment. I'm going to cordially bus you guys to every airport in America. and strategically fly y'all out to this isolated tropical island because I have a heart.
Yep.
As y'all arrive, we're gonna dump you down on the beach. And because I have a heart, the ability to make fire and your weapon of choice. And then we're gonna leave you to your devices. Now, keep in mind, this is a tropical island. There are still animals and reptiles and predators on this island. There is bugs and insects and things that can kill you. Mother Nature. But there are no men. There's no infrastructure. There's no internet. There's no drinking potable water. There is no infrastructure, period. It's just you and nature and all the women that say they don't need men. And guess what? This is my crazy little world. The whole island is under CCTV surveillance. So while we leave you, we're going to go back to the United States and be like Batman in Dark Knight and just watch. Watch you tear yourselves apart. And trust and believe there will be a select few women that will break under the pressure.
Oh, there's most of them.
We're gonna wait. We're gonna, like I said, I'm gonna be like Bruce Wayne in that room watching all the TVs. I'm gonna be like, okay, oh, we got one. Hey, pilot, I'm gonna have my pilots on staff, on deck, waiting. Right there in sector 4. Send a plane out. And one by one, I want all of these women that were so adamant here in the West, in the first world. Oh, we don't need no man. Now the scenario has flipped. Oh my God, I can't take it anymore. Please come save me. Oh, you need us now. Okay. I'm gonna need you to sign this non-disclosure agreement. I'm gonna need you to sign this non-disclosure agreement to say I will not say this no more, and I appreciate every man in America. Don't matter if it's blue, white collar. I don't care if you're black, white, green, yellow, purple. I love y'all. I need you. I appreciate you, and I'm gonna need you to sign in blood. I'm gonna cut your hand and you sign it in blood. Boom.
Yep.
And one by one, this harsh, extreme social experiment will actually reshape how you look at the men that you don't even see.
Right.
What would you do if you had this Thanos glove, Miss Anita? What would you do?
I mean, they, like one of your listeners just said, they're not considering men because the world has already been made, right? They've appeared in a world that's already been made. And so they don't consider how it got here. They don't consider all the things that men have been doing for thousands of years. They just don't consider that. So in their mind's eye, when they say things like, we don't need men, and, we really don't need men, they, like you said, have shown up in a world that has everything they could ever need. So that's why. So you'd have to rip it away from them for them to understand that if men disappeared tomorrow, it is estimated that within 72 hours, like infrastructure would go down. Like everything we know would go down. And then it become obvious to them, like, oh, wait a minute.
You mean to tell me the 94 octane gas pump is empty?
Yep.
Yes. It's
the water, the roads, the lights, all the things.
Infrastructure.
Yeah.
And again,
that would be problematic, wouldn't it?
I'm electrician by trade. For everybody out there in the YouTube world, I am an electrician by trade, right? Via the military. Shout out to the Air Force and the Army. In 2025, if I did not go into the Air Force at the humble age of 17, and then work my way up, blue collar sector of America, I don't know where would I be, because this is a life skill to have. Think about it like this. I'm being funny, I'm being facetious. You would not be able to see us if it wasn't for electricity and the internet.
That's right.
You wouldn't be tuned in right now. We would have to send smoke signals or a telegram or something to have this conversation. Like the infrastructure panel. And again, I'm a movie buff. Have you seen the Bruce Willis movie Live Free Die Hard? I think it's like the either third or fourth installment.
Yeah, I've seen all of the Die Hard movies.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I've seen all of them. Yep.
Remember the college kid that was part of the hacker team?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Again, I like to merge movies. So imagine Live Free Die Hard and the opening scene of I Am Legend with Will Smith.
Okay.
This is what America would look like if we snapped away men.
Yep.
Everything would cease to exist.
It would.
Because the infrastructure is being maintained by the men that choose electively to do these dangerous jobs, and they don't mind. They don't care. They don't care.
That's right.
And it's like, well, again, shout out to the other content creator, It's Complicated. He actually did his street interviews during the pandemic.
Okay.
And he asked a whole bunch of people, if you had your choice, he asked men and women. He said, if you had your choice, would you take a high profile position with no pay, or would you clean sewers for $100,000? And you would not believe the amount of educated women that quickly said, I'd take the high profile job with no pay.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
How? You're gonna honestly say that after we just went through a pandemic and the whole world came to a halt?
Yeah.
How would you, and here's my real question I would ask these young ladies that say that they would take the high position, no pay. How would you eat?
Right.
How would you pay your rent and or mortgage? How would you put gas in your car? How would you survive for the next 31 days if you did not have access to resources? You can't barter your way and pay your rent or your utilities. They would cut everything off.
These are the same women that when asked, either we legislate abortion, we legislate free abortions, or we legislate for a free 4-year education. These women said free abortion. So
wow,
that's where we are.
Well, it's a pickle.
Yeah.
I wanna end. I'm pretty sure I did catch the interview you did with Dr. L. Shout out to Dr. L. I believe he's still watching.
Yep.
We're gonna dissect this very disturbing video. You know what video I'm about to play. I'm getting you prepped and ready.
Yep.
I must say this. Like I said, I'm being funny and I'm poking jokes and all that good stuff. But this is a serious conversation to address. I can't tell you. I'm gonna show you.
Yeah.
This is what Black men have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, of dealing with the Black women that this is applicable to, that show this behavioral trait. It's disturbing. It's very disturbing. I'm gonna pull it up. Oh my God. I don't know how that host and the guy kept their composure and they remained stoic. Yep. I was like, bruh.
Ungovernable.
I was like, bruh, I don't know how y'all did it. Shout out to Trey Smooth and Call Me Shape. I'm gonna reach out to you guys. I want to have a conversation with you guys, and we're gonna react to this video. We're gonna react. So this is the closing to show that, hey, it's not always the men that are the bad guys. There are Black women out here that can be the boogeyman.
Yep.
Let's watch.
I promise you, I'm ungovernable.
First of all, you smell funny, right? I smell funny? Yes, you do. You smell funny, and the that I with, you can never touch. Even the boy, you lame ass. Are you serious? Get the out of here.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
This is the
because motherfuck niggas like this.
Who the fuck you think you talking to?
You don't have to deal. You don't have to deal. You have the choice to live in your own truth
be in your own energy and do the things that you want to do until you die without ever having to deal with the counterparts.
Right.
Like with
Do you
the
believe
counterparts
that the men of value, that these top nine?
What men of value? Nobody help those men. Men don't. It doesn't matter. Bad bitches don't put men.
You're not a bad bitch. You're not a bad bitch. Calm down. But do you believe the men that make more than
you are a coward. You're a coward. I know gangsters. No, listen. I want you to understand something.
I know
because
gangsters.
I told you this before. I know gangsters.
What does that mean?
And I'm looking you in your eye right now. You're not.
I'm not a gangster.
Thorough nigga. No.
I'm not a gangster.
You're not a gangster. And you're also a coward.
I'm a bitch from the street.
You don't like women because I don't. Because no,
I
you
love
don't.
black women.
And
Dark
you're
skinned
so
women.
insecure.
I love dark skinned black women.
You're inadequate.
I love dark skinned black women. But I don't like masculine women.
I'm not masculine.
I like
I'm
dark
telling you the
skinned black
truth.
women.
You're a child. You're a
Okay.
child.
Okay.
You're a child.
You're allowed to say that.
You're a child.
The point I'm trying to make.
You're
is,
a child.
Where's the men that make $9,000?
You're a child
that want to date this.
I have
Who wants this? Who wants to come home to this?
Message.
Who wants to come home to this?
Thank you.
All right, wait. Okay, time out.
Who wants to come home to this?
How about we get back? Let's get back on topic. I don't want to take.
And it's not just black.
And
I think beautiful women. I think black women are objectively the most beautiful women on the planet.
He's a panderer. He knows what to say. He knows when he's doing a white tactic. He's doing a white boy tactic. Let me tell you something. How he's doing a white boy tactic. I'm about to get in my politics right now. Let me tell you how he's doing a white boy tactic, right? Because he's telling you he loves all the superficial, all the superficial things about black women, right? But he doesn't understand, like when black women. What did Malcolm X say? The black woman is the most disrespected and unprotected woman in this country, yes, right? And when we internalize that and we do that like that and whatever, a real nigga would have compassion about how black women represent themselves in the tight game that they run, right? A fuck nigga from the Caribbeans.
A fuck nigga from the Caribbeans.
A fuck nigga from the Caribbeans.
Oh shit! Say it again. A fuck nigga from the Caribbeans. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Will ostracize you. Will ostracize you and make you feel like, oh, you're angry, you're this, you're that. No, I'm not that. I'm probably telling you something. And before you air this out, you're gonna, because I didn't know that I was gonna be in the presence of someone like this, and that's what I told you before I got here. I don't like these fucking type of niggas.
Why are you so fucking negative all the time?
I told you that. I
caused you to behave.
I'm going to Grenada. I'm moving. That's what
Grenada. It's called Grenada.
I'm gonna say Grenada because I don't fucking believe anything.
That's absolutely fine. But she believes that men of value want this. She believes men of value want this.
Nigga, look. First of all, you smell funny, right?
I smell funny?
Yes, you do. You smell funny, and the niggas that I fucking fuck with, you can never touch. Even the fucking white boy, you lame ass nigga. Are you fucking serious? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. See, I told you don't bring me around these nut ass niggas. I make too much money. I make $350,000
So
a
then
year.
represent yourself
nigga.
So then
Like,
represent
get the fuck out of here with that
represent
shit.
yourself like a professional woman. Sit down and have a conversation.
But you keep entering.
Let me know if this video was. Oh yeah.
Oh.
That was a lot to digest. That's why I say put it in. All right.
And
my assessment is going to be short.
Okay.
This is what Kevin Samuels did. He held up a mirror to the women that it's applicable to. This is how we experience you unprovoked. That was not provoked. That was her. That was her. And I'm not making an excuse. She was drinking, but alcohol don't do that.
Right.
What's your assessment again of this? And this is a mirror of a lot of black women.
It is. And what's so interesting, so Dr. L and I watched that entire video. We kind of stopped it at different points. She literally was every single black woman archetype ever. She pulled every one of their cards out of her hat. In one interview, she did all the things that we keep seeing Black women do. And they wonder why they're struggling to be happy, to get ahead in life, to have a loving man in their life, to have a husband, to have a family. I'm like, this woman, I mean, just all of the things. And I always tell people, I even tell people who try to debate me, the moment it becomes personal, you are losing. Right? So I purposefully shut down. As soon as I am attacked for the way I look, for anything personal about me, that lets me know I'm the winner of that debate. Like,
Right.
okay, there's nothing else for me to say. You can't argue the topic. If you got to use the N word, you've lost. You've lost. You've lost. You are not an educated mind. And I keep telling people this. People who have intellect, people whose mind is educated, we don't need to end up like that. That's not necessary. So that's telling you a lot about her. And she said in the end, oh, I make too much money. I make $350,000. Well, that doesn't buy class. Yeah, that doesn't buy class. It doesn't buy femininity. Because that's what you need.
I said this in another episode. I said femininity is not a light switch.
No.
You can't turn. What do you think about we're gonna close. What do you think about the women that say, well, I'll be feminine for the right man? What? You be feminine for the right man. You're supposed to be feminine all the time.
Right. And I keep telling women that femininity is a gift for me. Right? I live in a very feminine environment. I live in a feminine world, which is my world. And it's a gift that I give myself. Now, a good man, like when a good man comes into my life, I give him that gift too. I share that gift with him. But I keep telling women, femininity is for you. Like, I'm confused. I'm confused about that. That's your gift to yourself. Yeah.
And it's the gift that keeps on giving, because if you embody femininity, like I'll give you some more flowers if I may, right? There's a good handful of women that move like how you move. And in my twisted version of the Matrix, I wish I can take you guys' level of femininity, put it into a bomb, a good bomb now, and detonate it on American soil. And whoever has been infected by third and fourth wave feminism, if you're a misandrist and you have this ideology to think men are bad, and it will totally just dismantle and reshape and reprogram how you think.
Right.
I would just boom. And let the smoke and dust settle, and then all of a sudden they'll wake up. It's almost like they're being reborn now. They'll go,
right.
You know what? I need to call my daddy.
You're right. Right.
I need to call my daddy and apologize.
Oh my gosh!
Let me call my baby daddy and put my family back together.
Yeah. Stop coloring all over your body with tattoos. Stop, putting this septum ring in your nose. All
shit. Speak on it.
Yeah.
Speak on it. You talking about the bull? You talking about the bull ring? I don't like it.
Men don't want and don't like.
I know like it. Well, you said that. I mean, I'm covered in tattoos. I'm a guy. I like tattoos that I have to look for. Right. I like the tattoos that I have to look for. Like it's hidden.
Right.
That's cool. It's cute. It still maintains your feminine aura and your stance. If I gotta look like, and trust me, I would have to be privileged to find out where these hidden tattoos are, right?
Yeah.
But as long as they're hidden and I'll play devil's advocate. I am a fan of tattoos. I love tattoos. I love sleeves and all that stuff, and the artwork and how it looks and the colors and stuff. Looks nice.
You like it on a woman? You like it on a woman?
No, I like it for me.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
I like it.
Yeah.
But again,
I'm talking about on a woman. Do you want
I do draw
a neck tattoo, a face tattoo on a woman?
No. I think that's overboard.
Yeah.
Especially the face. The face, it's like, hey. Well, you know this is permanent, right? This is permanent.
Right.
This is permanent.
Right.
This is permanent.
Okay. So I am sexist in that regard. It's one thing for a man like yourself in the military to get a tattoo. It's one thing for a man who's in a bike gang or who was in the Navy. Okay, that's one thing. But when women start literally covering their entire body, like, no, I don't think there's anything attractive about that. I think a woman's natural form is her most attractive form. Like, God didn't make no mistakes.
Drake said it the best. Sweatpants, hair tied, chilling with no makeup on. I hope that's when you're the prettiest. I hope that you don't take it wrong.
That's right.
Trust me. That will be my ending quote as we close. Listen, Black America, to all my ladies, you know we love you like grandma's cooking.
Yeah.
We do love you. Contrary to popular belief, we do love you in your natural state, minus the wigs, minus the weaves, the lace fronts, the snuffleupagus. I take just fresh face out the shower with the, like in my Martin Lawrence world, with the water glistening all over your body. That's when you look the prettiest to us. Granted, when you get with your girlfriend and you get all dolled up and you got your face beat to the gods and then you got your fuck 'em dress on with your heels. Yes, it looks great.
Yeah.
But for us, sweatpants, hair in a bun, simple little lip gloss, we are easy to impress. We're simple. Y'all make stuff hard. Y'all complicate stuff. Men are simple creatures.
Yep.
Your issue, I'll leave you with this, ladies, and then we'll close. It is your job before you go in the ground and you meet Jesus to find a man that is God-like. I don't play the religious card, but it would be in your best interest to find a man that is God-like. You don't have to be perfect.
Yeah. But
you get that energy from him. You feel protected. You feel safe. You can be feminine around. You can be demure. And you know before you go and meet the creator, hey, I got me a good one. And vice versa. Fellas, get you a lady that you know for damn sure. If your parents are still here, you're still blessed to have your grandparents say, hey, mom, dad, this is so and so. Yeah, we together. Yes, this is my lady. Closing thoughts.
That's it. Yep, that's it. That's it. And remember, ladies, you are going to appeal to a man's higher self. And when you are dressed a certain way, when you talk a certain way, when you act a certain way, you appeal to his base animal nature. So just understand that just like we are a mirror to a man is a mirror to us. And if we are, appealing to that base nature of a man, that's what's going to show up. Like, I don't understand what women don't get about that. If you're half naked, yes, you're going to get sexualized. You're going to get objectified.
And you can't get mad.
That's what I don't understand. But if you show up and you are dressed appropriately and you're not cursing every word out of your mouth, you're not calling him the N word, then you will be considered for something more. So that's all.
Well, I'll end my shows the same way all the time. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we need each other.
Yeah.
If you're still blessed to have your parents or your grandparents, tell them you love them. Hold on to them tight. This ain't Mario Brothers. You don't get 3 lives, you get 1. So please hold on to the people that love on you the way you need to be loved on. Hold on to them, because life is short, man. Like I said, I've been all around the world. I've been to Iraq. I fought in the war. I've been to Saudi Arabia. I've been to several countries, right? As much as I want to complain about the Black experience in America, I wouldn't want to live nowhere else.
Yeah.
If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. So with that being said, that is the end of Rabbit Hole Discussions today. Miss Anita Stoudmire, I want to say this has been a breath of fresh air.
Thank you.
This has been, and again, I'm gonna give you your flowers on the way out. God damn it, man. Femininity on steroids.
Right. Thank you.
I wish
appreciate it.
wish I could take your level of femininity and with my pimp hand just smack everybody. Femininity 101. I wish I could just smack everybody with it, and it'd be an instant turnaround. But I wanna thank you for joining Rabbit Hole Discussions and kicking it with your kinfolk. I definitely appreciate you, and I will extend the olive branch back to you when I do a panel show. You're more than welcome to come sit
I'd
in
love
on
it.
panel show with us, and chop it up with it. Chew the meat and spit out the bones with us.
Yep.
Shout out to my favorite moderator is actually in the chat right now, Mrs. Plum. Shout out to Mrs. Plum. Shout out to my bro Trade to Travel, Stocky Balboa. There's a couple of my panel members are in here. Shout out to you guys. We will resume Rabbit Hole Discussions next Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same bat channel, same bat time. Everybody, please enjoy your weekend. And again, Mrs. Anita, I want to say thank you for joining Rabbit Hole Discussions. Everybody, please be safe. Love on your kinfolk, man. Peace. We is gone.